Welcome back from that break. We hope you guys have been enjoying today, but if you enjoyed today, or you have enjoyed today so far, that's just it. We are approximately 1/3 of the way through our series, but since the final series is the best of 7, it may not be technically about 1/3 of the way through our broadcast. We've got more awesome StarCraft 2. We had on the North American server, Kelazur versus Miso. Now on the European server, we have got beastyqt versus Jade, and to kick off the night, or to finish off the night, on the Korean server, we'll have Hero versus Bong Bong. That's Liquid Hero. Big H, Big O.
Big H in the house.
In his house
Hero.
or something.
Oh man. I feel a hip hop parody coming along. Big H.
Oh my.
Hero versus Hero. Oh man, that would be sick.
As long as I don't have to rap, I think we should be fine. But
dude,
I mean, we could always
if it's a rap
tempo.
song, you have to rap. That's how it works, man.
I think we would lose all of our viewers and the sponsorship if I was rapping on stream.
Speak for yourself, dude. I bet you can rap. Dude, you look like kind of a guy. I just look at you and I'm like, rapper. You look like,
yeah.
I just see rapper just coming out of your eyeballs. You can see, it's in the eyeballs. If you look someone directly in the eyeballs, you're like, are you or are you not a potential hip-hop artist? And I can tell, just looking at you. You got it. You got the stuff.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. I will take the compliment when I can get it. Now, game number 1 for this TVP is going to be Vonnie Research Station. Of course, I'm Cybert, joined here by Jack Attack, or Jack Attack TV, if you're on many websites. But our observing and production man is at Curran TV. This is all made possible by the hard work of the folks over at Team Gravity. Of course, the sponsor is Hitbox. They are the ones putting the money basically directly into the pockets of StarCraft players. But let's get into this first series with this little video. Team Gravity presents Fight Night.
Y'all ready for this?
All right, we are on Vonnie Research Station, and in the southern spawning position, our pink Terran player representing Team Extreme Supremacy. This is beastyqt.
And in the northern land of the Vonnie Research Station, we have Jade. The Red Protons.
For ESC, I believe, which is a German team, but maybe more interestingly, maybe more interestingly than that, although shenanigans.
Interestingly, one of the more popular types of pasta that you can eat in Europe. Definitely head down to the, the peninsula that is. What is going on here? We got a gateway.
Yeah, I mean, it's Proxygate Peninsula.
Got probably a gas coming up. I mean, when you proxy gate against a Terran, it's almost always with Stalkers. The Zealots only do so well for so long here, and it's just going to be interesting to see exactly how it pans out. We have the. I feel like this is going to be a Reaper. Or
it
like
could very well be the Reaper.
Or a fast factory. Either way, it's not going to be the greatest scenario for beastyqt. This is going to be a little bit difficult to hold. Following up, we do have the initial Zealot on the way.
Yeah.
The gas is being mined, so we should see a Cybercore coming out pretty soon. And yeah, this gas is lining up in such a way that it looks like he's going to be going for a factory. Putting more money into that production that is not being put into units. Hopefully we don't see an add-on. If we do, this is going to be a little bit rough. Come on, unit, come out of... All right, we got a Marine. We got a Marine. Something. beastyqt, you got something going on here.
That's very true.
A Marine. No scouting has been happening just yet.
Oh, yeah. But that first Zealot is going to be, of course, held off to the side. There's a second Zealot on the way. And beastyqt, he's moving forward with his first Marine. And actually, he is going to be going for the scout. He cancels. He had a waypoint set up to head him over to the left, and now he's going to the right.
Oh, this is the critical moment. Is he going to get this wall off done in time, or the Zealot's going to get it? If the Zealot... the Vector goes down! Oh, this is so huge, but it doesn't matter. The DPS, it's taking... Oh, he needs to keep these ranged units alive, and now the pressure is on. The Hellion is on the way. It's going to help out a lot, but in the meantime, we have Stalkers coming in from behind from Jade. This is a terrible, terrible way for beastyqt to start off his series in his best of 5. The Stalker is at the front ramp. The first Zealot is cleaned up, but the second Zealot is still coming down. Nice last minute canceled. Workers are getting killed off here. The Marines staying alive in the back. The Hellion is out. That's going to help a lot as far as kiting and mobility are concerned, but the second Stalker is on its way. He's just continually trying to get this wall up. The bunker on the way. 2 Stalkers, is it going to be enough? Now keep in mind, the high ground vision is pretty important here. Maintaining control of this ramp is the main area that needs to happen if Beauty wants to be able to pull this off. We have the shots coming in, and you know what? The thing is, lots of kills coming down on SCVs here. Regardless of whether this attack ends up being successful, the worker count is dropping for beastyqt.
Yeah. Yep. That's one thing that certainly can be said. Now this Widowmine could get some fantastic splash damage off, and it certainly will act as a deterrent now that it is deployed. It is burrowed. But, man, that Nexus is on the way already. He's starting to look at his transition options. Jade is going to be pulling back at least a little bit.
Absolutely. Yep. Mark of a great player. You know when the damage is done. You know exactly what's going on, when it's going on. And that's exactly what's happening here. Once that mine comes out, he needs the detection to deal with it, or he needs Blink to dodge it or something like that, or he's just going to sacrifice a Stalker. Generally speaking, it's just not cost efficient anymore. The damage has been dealt from the initial opener, and, you know, Jade is just in a great position right now. He's ahead in supply. As far as workers are concerned, he's way ahead in workers. It's brutal, 13 to 21. We have a little bit of harassment coming down in the form of this Hellion, but... You know, overall, just not enough damage done. Scouting is happening, and Jade has to feel really happy about this initial attack.
Oh, yeah. That Hellion almost did like a bunch of damage, but in the end, there were so many of those shots that didn't land. 0 probes have gone down, and there were several that could have been eliminated by like another
nice shot there by the Widowmine. Takes out a Stalker,
oh,
and he's going to be totally okay cleaning this up. beastyqt begins to slowly crawl his way back into this game, fighting from a deficit, and he's going to have to make some more spectacular plays happen if he wants to win this game.
Yep, some of that dirty, dirty Protoss cheese to open things up, as I'm sure Terran players everywhere just love that sort of stuff. But it was a very good choice from Jade to sort of open things up and to kick things off in this first game. Now, of course, this is a best of 5, so even if we end up seeing a quick series, I mean, that's still one heck of a way to open things up. Double Widowmine drop is one fantastic way to get yourself back on that Workers Killed Cat tab, at least for beastyqt. We'll see if he actually does any damage, though.
You have 2 observers out on the map. They both missed this drop coming in. Looks like it's going to get in position, and let's check out the micro here. It's really important. Excellently done. Only 3 workers killed. That's pretty much almost the best scenario that you can get out of the defense here. Jade's still going strong, definitely still in the advantage. And look at that worker count, 32 to 20. Tells the whole story of this game right now.
Yep. Again, Jade with a much faster Nexus after that attack. Not only did he kill the workers, but he was able to produce 2 at a time at a much faster rate. And still, I mean, beastyqt, he's staying on this one base play.
Yeah, I think he's going in all in on this, man. I gotta say, at this point in time, I think he's sort of counting his losses and saying, all right, the only way I'm gonna be able to pull out this game is if I just, you know, boil this all together and roll it up into one big attack and slam it into the face of Jade so he gets knocked out. Looking for a KO punch here. Coming in again with another Widowmine drop. Nice reaction, really nice reaction from Jade, avoiding all damage here, and getting that observer in position as well. Nicely done.
Yeah, very nice. Either that or beastyqt is going for, like, you know, the 11-minute expansion timing, which is, again, one of those wonderful, excellent timings that everyone is familiar with. But, of course, beastyqt, he's going to be looking to do that game-ending damage with this push out in the front. Marines and Marauders. Yeah, he's pushing out. He's got a pretty healthy force. Now, of course, Photon Overcharge is one of the factors that will be not quite here just yet, but by the time this army gets here, it'll be pretty much ready to go.
Yep, keeping in mind that this gets scouted by the Observer nice and early on, And there's not too many units available for defense here for Jade. Like you said, that Photon Overcharge is going to be a big part of this defense. But Stim Marine Marauder against 4 Stalkers is not a nice position for him to be in. Ooh, man, warping in too soon. Gets a free kill. Couple of Stalkers down to start things off. And he's going to wait a little bit. Ooh, a little bit.
That Widow Mine.
Widow Mine hit. No kills. No kills in that Widow Mine, but, you know, nice attempt.
Yeah, it was the thought that counts, and he certainly tried to get the kill. We've got just the slow but sure reinforcements streaming across the map, and ooh, that Widow Mine. He's got himself 4 kills. A couple of those were the probes from earlier. And beastyqt, again, with that observer, as you mentioned previously, he's keeping an eye on this army.
Nice scan, excellently done. And loads up right away. He knows he's not being scouted. And, ooh, really nice positional Widow Mine here. It's actually going to come off cooldown just at the right moment. He could get this +1, but it's really close to finishing. He should be able to get it off, no problem. Excellent. Jay gets the +1, and he's moving in here, gonna get some kills. This is the main advantage right now. If he gets enough kills on workers, this can actually normalize. Oh, really nice Widow Mine hit. Gets a whole clump of Stalkers there. And in the meantime, this Bioforce is absolutely brutal. Excellent starter step micro here. Those force fields don't do a whole heck of a lot, and he pulls out with 13 worker kills. Still rallying forward his units up into the front area. Ooh, he's going to get a nice Widow Mine position here up at the top. Gives him vision at the top of the ramp. It also gives him a nice chance for some damage, especially against that Immortal cutting through the hardened shields. Sentry kill almost imminent. Oh, this... Yes. Okay, he just gets the one Zealot. Could have been a little bit more deadly, but
in the natural, yep, that Nexus starting to be once again targeted down. 7 more probes have been eliminated as the Stalkers step forward a little bit too far. The Immortal is getting targeted.
Oh my God!
What a comeback! Oh man, beastyqt, he has still got it.
Yeah, man, really well played there. It just shows that high-level decision-making. He knew that he was in a position where he was not likely going to be able to catch up and play out the long macro game. Threw it all into that one base and made it work really well. Hit before any sort of defense from Jade could be brought up that was significant enough to repel him.
Yeah. I think that's a good overall look at that game. And beastyqt, again, with that power play, looking so strong after that opening. But Jade apparently had a pretty long supply block in that game, as our second map that we're going to be jumping into is going to be coming up in just a few moments. Echo is going to be the map for game number 2.
Yes.
Any thoughts on this map?
Well, Echo is a 2-player map, so we can see some more cheesification coming down. And, you know, aside from that, you know, it's gonna be interesting to see how things play out. Especially with that first game, right? Because that's, you know, super high-level cheese starting things off that can be very easy to sort of put you off balance either way, right? When you start off the game with the cheese, it's sort of like, if Jade is successful, then victory, feeling really good. But Jade went for that cheese, got in a really big lead, and then lost, which can be incredibly demoralizing. Actually, he was making some comments about massive supply blocks in the chat afterwards. And that's always just a very frustrating thing. As all players of StarCraft know, the supply block, the ever-frustrating and ever-present thing of existence.
Yep. It's very important, but in this particular case, I like what you said about we didn't necessarily get the best sense for this because it can throw the players a little bit off kilter, but personally, I haven't seen any games from Jade ever. So this is the first time I've ever seen him. beastyqt, I haven't seen in quite some time. I would say years, probably. I haven't seen him play. So I'm kind of curious as to...
Starbow for a while. He was one of the big Starbow players. He transferred over, played a lot of Starbow. He was one of the better Starbow players. And eventually has transitioned back into StarCraft 2. You know, still very high-level mechanical player. Very strong decision-making, as we saw in that last game.
Yeah. Yeah, but personally, I'm kind of interested to see what is just a straight-up macro, quote-unquote, normal game look like coming out from these two guys. Is Jade going to play cheesy every single game? How exactly will that look? Because beastyqt showed that he's got the decision-making to be like, okay, I know exactly based on how this game opening what I need to do. and he executed it quite perfectly.
Mm-hmm. I must agree. Must agree, indeed. So, man, we're sort of new as we talked about before. So, tell me a little bit about yourself, man. How long you been casting for?
I pretty much just passed my 3-year anniversary of casting in general, but that's most of that is not StarCraft. Most of that is Command and Conquer. So,
Oh, wow. Whoa.
yeah. So,
Very niche. Very, very niche.
yes, niche is certainly one way to put it. There's some other terms that sometimes they get thrown around StarCraft, and I'm like, those terms maybe not apply to StarCraft. But
Have you ever tried to cast a real game like StarCraft?
no, I never have, Jack. Tell me more about this StarCraft thing.
It's a real game.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so Jade there tried to play Terran. He was considering it and then said you know what? No, I'm not going to play Terran. I'm going to go for my main race here. You know, $10 in the line and all. Gonna get in quite serious mode.
Yeah, it's happened more than once. Usually players after the first time it happens, they're like, "Oh yeah, that thing. I guess I won't play the race that I'm bad at. I'll play the race that I'm good at." So, just
Interesting
a little bit
logic there. Yeah, I've always been going for the opposite, which
Oh, yeah?
you know probably relates to my lack of success in competitive professional games. That's probably just my big issue. I've been trying
might
to
wanna
just
try
play
it.
my worst race all the time. Yeah.
Try
I
playing just BGM at a race, and then win.
You know, it doesn't seem right to me. I'm just going to continue the other option. I'm just going to be playing my worst race at all points in time, in my worst matchup. I like your suggestion, but I'm just going to be really closed-minded and not consider it at all. Yeah.
I mean,
go with that.
You let me say it, so that's pretty good. As far as internet discussions go, you let me at least have my say. So that's fair enough.
Yep, that's it, man. And
I can appreciate that. But
you're
Jack,
you're so nice. You're such a nice guy. It's so good casting with you, man.
that is we'll glide right past
know
that.
you as a nice guy?
This comes into like I would have to give you a much longer explanation
Are you a
of
rager? Are you?
no.
Do you get salty? Are you full of salt?
I actually am not. But
You're
it comes
not
down to the fact that most of the people that interact with me throughout my life, I mean, the majority of them have been in some sort of educational environment. So, like middle school, high school, or now university. And so I have a very sarcastic attitude. And so I say a lot of things in sarcasm, which I have sort of a jaded sarcasm, which makes it very hard to detect in a lot of situations. And so people get the impression that I'm actually like just constantly angry because I have, as they say, resting bitch face.
Oh
So
man,
people get
you
the
have
impression.
you gotta move up to New England, man. We're all like that. We're just like that's the
See?
standard.
Yeah.
That's what it's like, you know. And actually, because I come from New England, and I lived in California for 3 years, and like that, it was a lot like that. You know, it was like people didn't really get me for a while, and I was just like, oh man, I gotta adjust.
Okay.
It's just like, but yeah, man, New England's the place for that super jaded sarcasm at all points in time.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, sure.
I guess I was wrong. I was like born in the wrong place because I'm from the West Coast, the Northwest of the United States originally. So, but now I live in the Southeast, which is awful. But yeah, so maybe I've just been living in the wrong place all my life.
Wrong quadrant, man. It's all about getting yourself into the right quadrant of everything.
Like
And,
if you are in the wrong quadrant of playing StarCraft 2 and you choose Terran as a Protoss player.
Wrong quadrant, you know? And as far as quadrants goes, it's really difficult to choose the right quadrant because there are 3 quadrants. For those of you who are familiar with mathematics, it's this thing with numbers. Don't worry too much about it, but it gets confusing when there are only 3 quadrants available. Where's that 4th quadrant? It's not Warcraft 3. What are you going to do? You know, it just becomes a very complex situation, and it's kind of difficult to deal with.
Very true, but it looks like we have a PVT on our hands, which is correct. We're supposed to have a PVT. So as soon as everything gets underway, we will be jumping into this game. Again, it's a best of 5, but for those of you just tuning in, it's beastyqt and Jade. beastyqt is up 1-0. We have just been buying some times as we did have some technical difficulties in the previous game, Jade had himself set to the wrong race, so we'll be getting back underway with game number 2 momentarily. Of course, I am Cybert, joined here by Jack Attack, and our production and observing man is Curran. This is all made possible by Hitbox TV and the wonderful Team Gravity Fight Night staff who do all of the graphics and make everything that happens in between the week, like scheduling, and then, of course, set up deals like where Hitbox pays them $100 every month, and then they pay StarCraft 2 players $100 every week to make these fight nights happen. So yeah, we're basically giving away $100 tonight, and you guys get to watch it happen live.
That's right, the transferal of the dirty esports money, as we're all very familiar with.
Indeed. But now that we do have our correct races and even our very stylish colors chosen from these 2 players, spawning in the northern position, we have our purple Protoss from ESC Gaming, Jade.
Likewise, we have, in the bottom right, the winner of the last game, played Starboard for a while, but now he's playing StarCraft 2.
It's beastyqt.
Who is, of course, a cutie, right? Just like, oh,
And
he's
a
a cutie.
beast.
And a beast. You know,
As we saw.
that's the thing. It's a little bit, confusing, right? It's like he is this whole story of Beauty and the Beast wrapped up into a single human individual, right? Because you have
I
the
never thought of
cutie
it that way.
on one hand and also the beastie, which it gets a little bit confusing for me because it's sort of like this dual personality. Does he have multiple personality disorder? And that is sort of a nod to that. Who knows? We don't.
Or did he like win the genetic lottery and he's just totally swole all the time and also happens to be really attractive?
You know,
There's so many options.
the genetic lottery, I think, is probably has the best prize. You know, for the regular lottery, sure, you might win $1 million. You might win, $200 million. It might be gigantic, but the genetic lottery, you win like intelligence and charisma and dex modifiers, all those kind of cool stuff. It's basically like when you roll up your character. That's what the genetic, lottery is all about.
We're diverting into D&D references that I have no idea about.
It's okay, man. It's okay. What you do is, as a caster, it's this little trick that's called, can I swear?
Pretend
Is
you
swearing
know
allowed?
everything?
Yeah, I just want to just double check before I start dropping words that are swears. I'm going to guess no, so we're going to call it, you just pretend. You just pretend,
That you know
man.
everything.
You just lie. Lie to the audience. It's really the foundation of esports. Lying to the people who are listening to you. It's really it's that central moment where you just say, I know everything, I'm really smart, I'm not going to admit to any mistakes so that you think I'm a god when I'm actually not. And that's how you cast, So any of you out there, new casters, just remember, be dishonest and you'll be greatly rewarded.
I feel like that was the speech. I don't remember what the TV show was, but it's like it's the start of a TV show, and this guy who owns a TV show basically goes on air and has like this full-on breakdown because they're firing him, and so he just talks about like how corrupt all of this stuff is. And I feel like that was your moment. Like, I don't know if Curran like switched from the in-game screen to just like a full screen of your webcam as you're delivering this speech. Oh, the eBay block. The eBay block is almost as dirty as lying to all of your viewers and pretending that you know everything.
That's
but in this
right.
case, it's
Almost,
not.
But it's not. It's
'Cause the
just
stalker.
and it's like putting the dirt back into the game, because usually you think, oh, dirty Protoss, right? No, this is the dirty Terran with their dirty Reapers getting their dirty Reaper kill attempts. Total attempts. 1 Reaper kill. Oh yeah, looking great.
Oh.
And then blocking that expansion. Forcing, and this is what you see a lot of the time, right? Whenever this eBay block, you almost always see a Stargate follow-up as a result, especially if they already have the gases down.
Yeah, and fair enough. I mean, he did drop those 2 gases. I guess they were technically delayed a bit further than... Oh, that's a round! I think we call that 6 City inside the Protoss base right there as Jade gets the shutdown of that Reaper.
Or if you're on ladder, you call that hacks, depending on how you feel about it. Similar to the lie to your audience, it's very important when you're playing, if you want to improve to just blame all of the mistakes on things that are out of your control. That way you can feel better about yourself and never sort of take any personal accountability or improve. You know,
I mean, that
pro
sounds
tips
like-
coming out of here, you know, from Fight Night. Very important.
That's very true. I mean, that's what much of modern society, one way or another, is built around. Is
That's
got to
right.
push the blame on other people. It's not ever your fault. Got the
Or
hacksaw.
RNG. You know, if you play sports, other esports like Hearthstone, or maybe you're a poker player, just like I didn't get the hands. Oh, RNG doesn't like me. You know, whatever it is. And speaking of things that are crazy, we got an Oracle coming out, and
Completely
this
random.
can be totally, absolutely brutal. The
Yes.
Oracle, the least controllable unit in the game when you have more than one of them, but one of the most controllable units in the game when you have only one of them, due to particular
Unless-
bugs when controlling multiple air units that have instant attacks, such as the Oracle's Pulsar Beam. And we have a back and forth here. We have the Widowmine moving up with a lot of Marines. This is a scary attack, especially because the Oracle won't be around to help out, but it's moving in the base, and we have the moving out of the way. He's looking for some kills. There are 0 turrets. Oh man! Oh my god, that was
cutie.
beautiful. Hiding
is
the
a-
Widowmine.
Yep.
Ugh.
That is a cutie move that just shows how much of a beast he is.
Oh, the caster jokes. Here we are. You come in for the StarCraft, but you stay for the caster jokes.
And for this Widowmine hit.
Beautiful Widowmine hit there. Excellently done. And death to all of them in their faces. And it
That's
looks
true.
like he's just going to pull back. I wonder if he's going to keep pushing this out. He is rallying units across the map. We have, in the meantime, some more Stalkers coming in. We have a Phoenix coming in as well. But as soon as this is down, he's going to have a small moment in time where he can attack. A lot of energy coming in for this second photon overcharge if it's necessary. He could also make a drop happen, as he is. Phoenix are in good position over here. Is he going to see it?
Ooh.
Oh, he absolutely is.
They're in a perfect spot to respond. There's the drop of all the Marines, even the Widowmine Boyle at the front of Jade's natural. He's trying to finish off the Widowmine.
Oh,
He
nice
gets the
targeting
kill.
down.
Very nice moves, of course, with the with the Observer there. He doesn't have to worry too much about this. But beastyqt is going on home. He's packing it in. I mean, he's starting to roll out those upgrades, but he doesn't want to stick around for them to finish.
Yeah, you know, a little bit of damage back and forth, a little bit of poking and prodding, but so far we have, generally speaking, we have this normalization going on. The upgrades are going to be an advantage of beastyqt as long as he can continue to do that. Only a single forge coming down from our Protoss player.
Yep. The engineering bay is researching as well. So these two guys, as you mentioned, you know, a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of damage both ways. But, of course, Colossus will be on the way shortly. For now, it's just the Immortals being pumped out. And there is going to be the scan. Revealing exactly what he wanted to see because he needed to confirm, yes, it is Robo Facility. It is going to be Colossus for now.
And the big question here is he going to go into that Myung-Shik style of, like, Colossus Phoenix, or is he just going to stop at 4 and get some harass done? And so far we have no 5th Phoenix being queued up, so it's just the 4th. Looking like just a little bit of harass. We'll see how that goes on. We have the Thermal Lance and the Colossus on the way, as well as the +1. beastyqt gearing up to take this 3rd base.
Yep.
Just narrowly avoiding those Widow Mines here. A little bit of harass coming in. And these Vikings might do some baits. Nope. Really smart moves from Jade here. Excellent movement. Oh, wow. What?
Picks off an SCV. Why not?
All right. All right. There we go. And, you know, missile turrets coming down. He's going to secure that 3rd. But
Jade has his own 3rd about halfway done, so I guess
about the same, really, as far as like when the incomes are going to start to kick in. So really close game overall. It's nice to see. This is looking like it's going to go into the deeper territory in which we do not oftentimes see.
I mean, I asked to see
TVT.
I asked to kind of see more of a straight-up macro game, a normal game, if you will, and that's what we're seeing pretty much here. So we do have, I guess the 5th Phoenix did get added on at some point. I didn't actually see it, but
really nice positioning here on these turrets. Not going to be able to show a whole lot. He's kind of trying to find a spot to harass, but man, I am absolutely stealing this missile turret placement. Love it. Absolutely love it.
I mean, that's the other advantage to being able to cast something like Team Gravity Fight Night, because you get direct access to, replays of players like beastyqt or even Liquid Hero and Bong Bong later on tonight. But Twilight Council will be finishing up momentarily. The second forge is also being added on, but we got the 3 additional gateways going to be powered up relatively soon as well. So we've got that swell of production coming out from Jade, and of course the third base is being saturated quite nicely by our Terran.
Ooh, nice delay of the gas over here with the Phoenix. Excellently done, and he's going ahead and get out of there. Ooh. Well met, as it were.
As they say.
As they say. Who they are, we'll never know, but they most certainly say a whole bunch of things.
They do, and sometimes they show up on Team Gravity Fight Night to play against Destiny, but that was many, many moons ago.
Long ago, yes.
Aha, yes. Templar Archives finishing up as well. The 4th base will be kicking off for Jade, so he's starting to power up towards that Storm, towards that Templar tech. And of course, Terrans love Templar tech, I've been told. They love it in many, many ways. So potentially this bio ball will have to be very careful in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, I did hear Storm Good Unit,
yes.
Occasionally. And
very
we're going to get to
though.
see, hopefully, Storm Good Unit come out as a result of the Storm being researched. But yeah, so we have the economic advantage here coming in from Jade. He is going up to 4 base, so the burden of attack is going to be on beastyqt as a result. And that burden is being absolutely championed here as attack he will, going directly down the middle, scouted by this observer over here. And we're looking for a position. And he's hidden right before Storm, and both upgrades finish. This is a nice time to be engaging as long as those Storms in charge and everything doesn't finish. Oh, nice. Oh my god, he's going to catch this Colossus. 2 Colossus down, 3 Colossus down, 4 Colossus. Oh my god, all the Colossus are completely dead. None of these upgrades are done. What a perfect time to attack, and everything. Protoss is dying.
Very true. Now beastyqt going to be charging into the natural again, stutter stepping, just getting as many probes as he can, canceling one of the forges as it does indeed be depowered there, and Protoss is trying to react. He's trying to do what he can, but beastyqt is absolutely ravaging this natural expansion. As the storms start to come down, beastyqt has already done a tremendous amount of damage.
Oh, and I want to point out this little drop over here with the Vikings targeted down the High Templar Archives, as it were. He's not going to be able to build any more Templar. This upgrade got paused out. He's going to be building a command center behind this. Oh my god, what a perfect time to hit. Absolutely perfect. Right before all of those upgrades finishes, right before Charge and Storm finished.
Oh,
absolutely
and it's not
beautiful.
over.
Getting tons of, oh my god, he's moving right in here. There's not a lot of defense to be had. He's going to target on that pylon. None of these warpins are going to happen. The cannon goes down. And it looks like he's going to be able to target this Nexus. Let's see. It's going to be pretty close. The defending force coming through. But, these probes are they're going into enemy territory. They don't really have any place to run. And more free units being offered up here by Jade. He said, here, you will die. You will sacrifice yourselves for the case of these 8 or so probes. And wow, this is looking absolutely brutal. Jade's going to find a way to get back into this game. These Widow Mines just barely not hitting anything here. Oh my god, what a crazy attack, and it continues on. He's moving with a force in the north. He's defending these these zealots that are not Reapers in the south.
There we go.
And just lifting off. Oh man, brutal. Do we have a second to breathe? No, we not, because he's making another attack in the south. Units getting killed all over the place. Will you have a pylon to warp things in? No, you will absolutely not have a pylon to warp things in. And he's even getting ready to move into the natural as soon as this gets deflected. This is non-stop aggression from beastyqt, and oh my god, this is absolutely nuts. He's still ahead in supply. He's still macroing like a boss behind this entire thing.
Yep, he's going for ghosts after this. He does have personal cloaking being added on right now. And this Nexus
in the
forfeit.
top section, we've got a Doom Drop coming in after the Nexus gets killed. Are there any units positioned to defend? A lone Colossus attempts to be... Oh, the Warpin's coming in, but is it enough? Is it too late? We're going to have to find out. It just might be. Storms is a really good position for Storms to come down, but I don't know if they have... It looks like they don't have enough energy for Storms, and he's just going to be able to pick up and get out of here.
Oh, he snipes that Colossus so incredibly quickly, sniping bases, high-tech units. Everything is going down to the power, to the might of beastyqt as he is tearing Jade apart. And like you said 3 or 4 times there, it's not over yet. He drops down. He is going to be healing up, and it's like every moment that you think Jade is going to have a couple of seconds to regroup, to breathe, to think about things, he doesn't, because beastyqt moves in, and in this case, it looks like it's going to be on 2 fronts.
I felt like I felt one of those salesmen there. I was like, but wait, there's more. Every time, over and over again. Look at this. He's like, oh, are you trying to expand? Nah, because I don't want you to expand. I think I'm just going to make sure you never expand. And keep in mind, the main is almost completely mined out. The natural is, in healthy shape, and the third is this main source of income. But in the meantime, we have a Terran on 4 bases with extra command centers coming up in the meantime.
In the natural
Another big drop
Jade.
over here.
There it is. More Marines and Marauders getting dropped. Templar are kind of wavering into the front, but these Zealots are doing some pretty nice damage. They just don't quite know.
Ooh,
They do
nice
have the
storm.
numbers.
Is that
with
enough?
That storm. Wow, even with the storm, it's not enough. More units have to be warped in. These units are extremely low on HP, but with basically a personal medevac for every unit, they're lasting so much longer than they would.
Oh my god. This is
And then
absolutely brilliant play from beastyqt. Look at this. Look at this. All this multitasking, all these drops all over the place. In the meantime, keeping up with his macro. He's, he was practically maxed out there for a moment. And in the meantime, Jade is at 100 or so supply. This is, oh my god. He's got another drop. He's coming in on the production. He's taking damage wherever he can take damage. Everything's out of position. We've got these, High Templar? No, I don't think so. What? I'm going to kill another High Templar. Storm's not such a big deal. He is going to lose this force, finally. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the supplies. Oh, wait. beastyqt in the lead again. Let's take a look at the upgrades. beastyqt in the lead again. This is absolutely a brutal position for Jade. And we have Ghosts in production. This was really the critical point, the critical unit that he did not have for straight-up engagements. And he's bought all of this time to get them up in the meantime.
Yep. A big force moving out for our Protoss player. This is the do or die situation. Another base is being taken by beastyqt. As you mentioned, he's ahead in every way. He's soon going to be even further ahead in the base count. And of course, as the main and naturals start to dry up for these players, that becomes very important. Now, these Vikings, maybe not the most useful unit, but these Widow Mines, on the other hand, going to be extremely useful in at least deterring this attack.
Interesting move there. He's just going to go up and attack. We got some... Oh, man, the EMPs are brutal, and everything is getting destroyed into small, tiny pieces. GG, beastyqt with the victory! Oh, that was awesome play. That was beautiful to watch.
Right at the end, Jade knew that he was beat, so he danced his own units in the face of beastyqt. GG's out like he should, and in 2 games in a row, beastyqt is showing that he owns the game and the name Beastie. And maybe the cutie part as well. But he owns the
game of StarCraft. He owns it. He's got a copy himself. He owns the game. That's true. And that's one of those critical things. If you want to play StarCraft, you have to own the game. It's one of those things you just have to do it.
I've heard very similar things. I never knew if they were true, but now I know.
Yeah, actually, you could be playing on a Starter Edition account right now, and it wouldn't matter, because you can play custom games on a Starter Edition account. If you guys want to get out there, you want to try StarCraft, but you're like, oh my god, $40 is a lot of money. Go out there, get the Starter Edition. Just go to StarCraft.com. It's really easy to remember because it's StarCraft.com. Go there, download the Starter Edition, play some custom games with your friends. You don't have friends? Hop on Team Liquid. Hop on, go get yourself some friends. Be like, hi, I'm new. I want to play StarCraft. We're like, oh my god, you want to play StarCraft? Absolutely. Tons of great, awesome folks in the StarCraft community that are willing to show you the ropes and help you out. So definitely go ahead and do that. Give it a shot. It's fun to watch. It's even more fun to play. And incredibly rewarding mental exercise and experience as well.
I myself actually only owned a StarCraft 4 months ago. I never actually had a copy of StarCraft. I was doing all of the casting just through the Starter Edition or through friends' accounts if I wanted to actually play ladder. But yeah, it was all just Starter Edition stuff, and I basically did some form of work directly related to creating StarCraft 2 stuff. A lot of it was behind-the-scenes video production stuff, and I never even owned a copy of StarCraft. But
look at that, the power of Starter Edition. Go hook yourself up. If you haven't been
That's very
up,
true.
Just get up in there. It's really great.
But-
You can play all the races, unlike before. It has been changed. You can play all
Oh,
the races. So
I didn't know that. Because yeah,
Yes.
I only could play like versus Terran, as against
Initially,
mostly
yeah.
against AI. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, this guy, he doesn't even need the full version of the game. He's just playing Terran anyways.
that's right.
That being said, we do have our game number 3, and somewhat unfortunately, this could totally potentially be the last game, but it may not be because of this man on the right side of Coda, kicking it off with our purple Protoss player from ESC Gaming. This is Jade.
Extra 10 points for alliteration to Cybert. And in the top left-hand corner of our screen, we have the opponent. He's Beastie. He's a cutie. He's beastyqt.
For the clever name tie-in, we have Jack Attack with 3 points.
Man, you're 7 points ahead. I'm going to have to find some really good caster jokes and get a couple of points for them.
I think
but
you
yeah.
were... Well, you were like 11 points ahead initially because...
Oh, right.
you were
I
north
remember.
of me. Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so that makes the score. Don't do math on stream. That's what the
That's a
score
good
is.
score.
Very important
I
score.
like that score.
Yeah, I don't really mess with it. The
Yep.
math on stream. It's just not an intelligent thing to do for all of those of you who are new, who think you're smart. You think you're smart. Maybe you're a mathematics major. You're in college. You're like, I'm a math major. I know math. As soon as you hop on a stream, there's a magical thing that happens that will make you make mistakes in math.
Yep.
Extra points for alliteration for me. And that will just happen. So just watch out for those types of things.
Unless you're Greetorp, in which case you can get away with doing like
That
pretty
guy
complex
is nuts.
math.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. You want to talk
He's
about
just-
a super intelligent human being? Go watch some Greetort stream and be prepared to learn because
Yeah.
you want to learn how to play StarCraft. I think he even have Learn to Play StarCraft is his thing, learntoplay.com or something. I wish
Yep.
I knew the actual link to give you guys, but go search Learn to Play Greetorp. You want to become a pro at StarCraft? You're going to get a lot done learning from him. He's a really, 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 really smart guy.
Yep.
And we have the scout coming in from Jade. And Jade with a sigh in chat earlier on, looking, a little bit despondent, a little bit unsure about how he's going to be able to pull out a victory here. And I can
Yeah.
understand that feeling. Playing against beastyqt is not the easiest thing in the world. He's got incredible, incredible raw skill, just his multitasking, his mechanics, and especially, as we saw a lot in last game, his tactical play, pulling you out of
Yes.
position, getting in the right place at the right time, and having the mechanics to back it up during that whole time. It really is like a sort of complete mechanical package that's really tough to deal with.
Now, kind of to kick things off, let's take a little bit of a recap back to game number 1. You're coming into this series, Jade. I think it's pretty comfortable to say Jade is the lesser-known player out of these two. So he's coming in here, cheeses game number 1, loses. Game number 2, straight macro. By the way, great surrounds from Jade on things that come into his mineral line. He's just good at doing that thing, surrounding it. But Jade, game number 2, straight up macro game. beastyqt crushes him. Multitasking is crazy. Everything's looking phenomenal for beastyqt. Good decision making, like you talked about. So you played the cheesy game, you played the macro game, and you lost both in pretty convincing fashion. So game number 3, what does Jade change up? Does he simply say, there were some problems that I know that I can fix from the macro game number 2. I just make those fixes, and I'll know I'll beat him. Maybe that's what his choice is.
Yeah, well, he's I'm sure he's very well aware, as most strong, intelligent players are, of the mistakes you make. One of those critical. You don't get to this point in the game. You don't get to the level of a Jade or a beastyqt without being very aware of each of your mistakes and how they affect your game, and which ones are the most important ones, how to focus on them, and how to improve them. As long as he keeps his head cool and he clears up some mistakes that he's made before, he's going to be okay. We do have a Twilight Council coming down, so we might have this sort of macro when behind in the series Dark Shrine coming up. But it's going to be. We are going to have the Twilight Council and the robotics facility. It is only, I believe, 150 gas for the Dark Shrine, so it is an option, but he's not going to be going for it just yet. Could just be a blink. Could just be a blink. Oh no, it's not. When behind, Dark Shrine.
Buddy.
Thank you, day 9. Getting into it, and It's all about the element of surprise here.
For
You
the
get a
clever
pylon up.
rhyming scheme and addition to a well-known phrase, Jack Attack, 4 points.
Not bad, not bad. I'll take it. I'll take it. I appreciate the extra 4 points. As a result, it's a lot about the scouting here. So we gotta watch that cutie vision, and see if he gets the scout off. We're looking for a forward warp in point. No probe has been sent out just yet. Ooh, we have a warp prism on the way. Nice.
Oh, yes. That's the other option that he can go for. Now, potentially this Reaper, if it stays alive, right now it's going to be heading into the main, or into the natural, excuse me, of Jade. But if it can manage to stay alive...
Oh, they're attacking the plating. That might have been a critical mistake to let this Reaper in. He still hasn't seen the Dark Shrine. It is off to the side. Is he going to be able to get in position?
Jade.
Oh, nice zoning out with the probes. Woo. Oh, my God. If that Reaper had been able to walk through the probe line and get over, he would have seen the Dark Shrine.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's anything going on that might indicate beastyqt's spider senses going off. He's not saving energy yet. He does have one turret in the main, and ooh, he's got a turret out in the front. Let's take a look at his vision. I mean, he's just sensing it. He's just being safe here. Turrets are good. And I think particularly, he's got this turret out in front, which I think is a strong signifier that he does know what's coming in a magical way that only the best in the world can really understand.
He may have barely seen the warp-in animation happening, but now he can definitely see the 3 Dark Templar. He is responding quite nicely. They didn't have enough time to try to get in towards the missile turret to finish that off. Instead, leaving 1 Dark Templar behind to do a bit of damage and do a pick-off. But, I mean, even so, you mentioned element of surprise earlier. He didn't really have that. Jade kind of should have had the element of surprise, but he didn't.
He didn't. He did not at all. beastyqt was ready for it and has so far deflected. Very little damage able to get done, and it's really difficult to totally explain how behind Jade is as a result of that. He's got this huge tech structure which has done absolutely nothing for him. And his economy, the supplies are going to be ahead for beastyqt. Do we have a third down? It looks like no. For either player, so economy is still equal.
This drop coming in for beastyqt, double medevac, couple of Marauders mixed in here as well. Immediately the probes are full.
He's going to target down the Nexus.
No,
looks like he's going to go for that guaranteed damage. Not going to get too greedy. Takes out a pylon, moves out. Nice deflection from Jade here. He needs a lot more moves like that to get back into the game. It's definitely a good start.
But that 1 pylon, not necessarily a big deal, but that was a supply block pylon, because Jade's other pylon that was finished up pretty much as that one got killed, and then it's just a bad situation for Jade. His macro all messed up, and you mentioned that it's already a bit messed up just because, again, he went for that tech structure, which did nothing. And this is, again, one of those small points.
He's moving with a GT, though. Let's see if he can get anything done. 1 kill, 2 kills. Red fish, blue gills, and only 2 kills are done. That is all not really what he's hoping for. It's a lot of investments, 125 gas for 2 SCVs. Absolutely #not worth, unfortunately. And we have a pretty sizable force. We have that drop from beastyqt still hanging out, available for more dropping action.
And 3 more medevacs, One of them half-loaded with... Oh, well, they fly directly over that warp prism. They might... Nope, they don't stop at all.
Look at this.
In the main base... Wow. That positioning. I mean, I didn't actually know that Marauders could hit a structure right there. In this case, the Colossus going to be able to barely outrange those Marauders and push them away.
It turns out Marauders are pretty good at killing buildings, even if they're not in the base. And we have this big push coming out from beastyqt. And it's sort of this continued rally push. We have Marauders continue to stream across the map. And it is at this critical time where Jade's trying to get up a third. And it looks like, beastyqt coming around from this angle. He's absolutely going to be able to scout this and cancel the third while he gets up a third of his own, really solidifying the advantage that he's already built up. It doesn't look like Jade's in a position to be able to defend this. He is going to react very quickly, but this looks like a very quick cancel. Excellent job by beastyqt. And he's even going to get some Widow Mine kill.
Oh, those Widow Mines, so wonderfully placed there for beastyqt. Going to be covering his retreat. Now, like you mentioned, beastyqt's third is up. It's saturated, it's mining, it's being beneficial for him. And canceling that just delays Jade that much further. But we have, again, much like our previous game, the double attack sort of action from beastyqt, hitting on multiple fronts. But can he stop this Stalker Colossus army?
Nice move by Jade here, really putting him back in the game economically, but can he defend with his force out on the map like this? It's pretty scary stuff coming in, and it looks like, ooh, Dark Templar defense. One of the very useful things about Dark Templar is not just that you can attack, but that you can defend. Nice scan coming down in the meantime. Jade, this is looking very similar. This looks like a base race scenario here. This is a scary head-up army for Jade. Very difficult to take on right away.
He recalls. Back into the main base is going to be pushing beastyqt away, and now there's still the drop in the natural, but this is pitiful in comparison to the amount of power. However, the nice thing is Nexus can't fly away. beastyqt was able to get the kill, while Jade just pushed the bases away.
All right, so we're in this very unique situation here. Let's take a look at what's going on. We have 52 workers to 32, so economic advantage as it's been, is in the hands of beastyqt, but this army by Jade is pretty formidable, very good, difficult to deal with. 2-2 finishing up for beastyqt is going to put him in the lead upgrade-wise, which will be a big help in the next engagement.
Yeah, trying to deal with those Colossi, with all of those Stalkers. He does need that upgrade advantage. And, I mean, I guess that Dark Shrine did indeed get sniped, so no additional Dark Templar will be warped in, at least not for a little while. We do have Vikings on the production tab, and of course the Nexus is just Jade's natural base, which that is gotta be killer. Rebuilding your natural expansion at 16 minutes into the game, and you're just like, oh, well, this is going well.
Yeah, you can't be happy as Jade right now with that engagement. He did make the decision to warp back in and try to save it, but he maybe have recalled a little bit too soon. It's difficult to say. It's a very nuanced situation. When you get into those base race scenarios, it just takes a lot of experience to try and make the right call. Ooh, catching a little bit of the army out of position here, targeting on the medevac so he can't get away. These are the kind of moves that Jade needs to do to get back into this game.
Now in the south, there's a second group of, well, not a huge group of army, but it is one of those kind of small base denying groups that can do a lot of damages if Jade is, say, in the middle of the map with his entire army.
We got a double-pronged attack coming in, drop coming in from the north, and we have an attack in the natural at the same time. Giant force of attack. Is he just going to recall again? It looks like he's getting ready for it. There's the recall. He's going into the natural.
And the boost away. beastyqt also cancels the drop that was heading into the main, so he pretty much pulled that Protoss army completely out of position and lost almost nothing for it.
Yep. In the meantime, no one with a third. Still no one with a third. So we have this two-base to two-base situation. Jade is actually catching up supply-wise, although very slowly and very difficultly. It's still looking strong for beastyqt, especially with these upgrades coming in.
And the drop back into the main base as beastyqt gets himself a couple more kills, but there's the recall. There have been so many recalls.
Targeting in the Colossus, such a good move.
Two Colossus go down, and, well, the entire drop is cleaned up, but when you kill off both of those Colossi, you have to be feeling pretty good about that trade.
Yep, warping in right in front of your enemy can be a bad idea, and recalling directly on top of your enemy's army can also be a bad idea. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out for Jade there. It's not that he really had any other awesome options to go for, but getting those two Colossus killed is really, really, that's the backbone of his army, the Colossus. He really needs those to be able to deal with this massive number of bio units on the ground. That being said, whoa! beastyqt is pulling the boys. The boys have been pulled, and here we go. Giant engagement. Oh, he focuses down the actual Colossus that's really there, doing this massive death, and beastyqt with the 3-0. God, that was beautiful.
Does not happen all that often on Team Gravity Fight Night. We sort of pride ourselves on being a show match series that more often than not goes all the way. More often do we see a Game 5 or a Game 7 then only a 3 or a 4-0 score at the end.
That's
so
right. Team Gravity Fight Note goes all the way.
we don't go halfway, but
No, all the way.
Jade-
Goes all the way. Absolutely.
Jade could not go all the way. I'm sorry.
Well, that's Jade's personal preference, and we shouldn't judge Jade on that. We all have our own personal preferences and the way that we live our lives, and Jade chooses not to go all the way at this particular time.
Unfortunately, we'll drop out with the 0-3 score, which means beastyqt is your victor. He takes home that $10. And that means, Jack Attack, it also means that it is almost time for the main event, as we do have Liquid Hero and Bong Bong from Team Prime going to be kicking it off. 2 Korean players to finish out the night. Oh, Jack Attack, this has gotten me all excited, all happy about this final series.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. We have some... It's kind of nice. We've got like server to server to server, just sort of branching out. Do you guys always do that, or is that just a nice coincidence for this time around?
Like the scores, I feel like it's something that's not always... Well, I mean, the scores are never planned, but I feel like it happens more often than it doesn't, but that could just be me. It feels like more often we do like NA, EU, KR. Not always, but it feels
not
like
always, but it feels nice. It's nice to get that diverse, representation.
Yeah, exactly.
Says, no discrimination here at Fight Night. We respect everyone equally,
That's
and
true.
we are going to go to all 3 regions tonight. Next up is
That's
Korea.
true. Next up, Liquid Hero versus Bong Bong from Prime. As I mentioned, we've got a best of 7 on our hands. Hopefully it won't be a 4-0. I think that would be a travesty, as a PvZ can be a fantastic matchup to watch. And we have got 2 guys who can bring us that in spades. Now, Liquid Hero is one of those guys who he can perform with the best of them at times, and maybe he's been in a slump lately, but he's still shown some powerful performances recently. And Bong Bong, again, he's a Kespa Pro. He is a player for Prime, and that means that we potentially will have one heck of a series on our hands. But to get to that first, we do have to go to this quick break.